All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to the 2008 inductee to the National Toy Hall of Fame. Right? Ken and Barbie beat this into the Hall of Fame. And based on your imagination, this can be any number of magical things, right? To a 3-year-old, it could be a pony that you ride across the field. If you're my 4-year-old, I'm pretty sure it's a lightsaber. If you're 8, it's for a sword for fighting evil villains. And if you're 10 years old, it could be Harry Potter's magic wand, right? Your imagination brings it to life. And unfortunately, in many places where our kids play today in our community, our national treasure is not allowed. Poke an eye out, get hurt. There's a challenge and an opportunity in that. Now, I'd like you all to close your eyes for a second and think about a memory in your childhood, some place that was special to you. Okay? In a flash, you have a picture, right? And I'm going to guess for many of you, even the majority of you, one of those memories happened outdoors, right? Maybe your family went to the beach every year to go clamming or tide pooling. Maybe your grandparents had a farm where you could go harvest your own food, play with the animals, hold baby chicks in your hands, right? Maybe you remember the family camping trip when mom and dad said you could be in charge of the family campfire to make s'mores that night. They trusted you. Maybe it was a memory of a place of absolute stillness where you're surrounded by endless beauty. Do you remember those? All of those memories are special for us for a number of reasons. They were fun. They brought you happiness and joy, allowed us to spend time with people that we care about. Maybe you went on a trek, an adventure, exploration to a new amazing place that you had never been before. Maybe you learned a new skill. You worked hard, you persevered, you tried and tried again until you mastered that skill that maybe even led to a passion. And we can fill the screen with all sorts of words that are filling your heads right now, right? And interestingly, when you look at these words and many more, you as business leaders, community mentors, elected officials even, aren't these words that we look for as adults in the projects that we work on to make our community better, to foster relationships, have contracts with folks? Sure is. So our perception is outdoor play can be a really important factor in our life. And also science backs it up too. There's lots of great research out there, like Robin Moore, University of North Carolina, who's been studying outdoor play for kids for over 30 years. And a lot of the words that you'll hear when you think about this research, it's used all over. It's in the news. Kaiser Permanente even uses it in their marketing. Lots of things. It reduces ADD symptoms, and reduces stress, improves physical strength and abilities, improves cognitive function. Outdoor play and connecting with nature is important. And we can fill the screen with lots of these aspects. So our perception is outdoor play is important. Science tells us it's important. These two guys will tell you it's important. They're in this tree almost every night. And we're fortunate to have a tree that we can climb in our backyard. So it's important, right? What are we doing in Vancouver and Clark County to make sure our kids have access to our national treasure and places to play? It's a great question, and I was part of this great team back in 2010 that asked that question of our community. Parks Foundation community leaders, we brought Richard Louv, author of The Last Child of the Woods, Nature Principle, to town. We were hoping to get 50 people. We packed the Hilton with 350 people, and maybe some of you were there. He gave a passionate speech. You can still see it on TV. And at that conference, all-day workshops with educators, parents, daycare providers, we said, what are the barriers that you see to getting kids outside to play? And we heard 3 things. 1, where do we go? Ooh, that's a scary one because we have great parks, trails, open spaces, playgrounds in our neighborhoods, right? So that was a little scary thought to us. But we've taken our parks and the places where kids play, and we've cleaned them up. We've tidied out nature, fence to fence. And a lot of the properties where our kids play, it's turf, pavement, and a playground. There's not much for them to explore and spur their imagination. Okay, number 2, they told us, what do we do? I'm not an environmental educator, or I don't know anything about nature. How can I take a kid out and teach them about nature? I said, well, that's easy. If you've ever taken kids out somewhere, you let them loose. They go out on the trail, and they'll find things that you and I will never see. We're thinking about Facebook posts and that meeting we forgot to schedule. The kids are exploring, and they're creating their own games. It's really encouraging to watch. Now, the third thing, it's the big one in the room that nobody likes to talk about, but it's you and me. It's fear. I'm a parent. I've got 2 kids. I go through lots of Band-Aids in my house. But our fears of what's going to happen to our kids when we let them go out there, unstructured play, stranger danger, getting lost, getting hurt, those are real fears. We don't want to diminish it, but we have to realize that the science and the facts tells us that it isn't as bad as we think. Crime stats say that physical abuse and kidnapping by strangers is down over 46% than when we were kids. Playground safety, significantly improved. Remember the monkey bars over the asphalt? How many of you broke your arms or fingers, right? Yeah, lots of broken bones there. Playground safety, the number one injury on playgrounds is 80% is from falls from high places. Other injuries are entrapment or getting their heads caught or their arms caught in something. Playground safety design has improved and reduced those factors significantly. So overcoming our fears, how do we do that? Well, there's some great research by Rachel and Steve Kaplan, University of Michigan, back in the 90s. They studied outdoor access to nature for over 30 years as well. And they say overcoming our fears, whether it's you or me or our kids, is having exposure daily, weekly, monthly. We have to get comfortable with our surroundings, right? Practice. And so if we get kids comfortable in our own neighborhoods, then maybe they want to go to the Burnt Bridge Creek Trail. Maybe they want to see the wonders of the Molten Falls, right? Or Lucia Falls. Maybe they want to go up into the Gifford Pinchot or one of the mountains or out to the beach. We got to get them comfortable. So what are we doing close to home? Well, lots of things. Don't get scared by this because this is a local school right here in the downtown area. The kids are not allowed to go past those cones at recess. They want to hug that tree. When I told them, come on with me, let's move the cones, what did they do? They ran, they hugged it. They really did. This school raised over $60,000 over the last year to add a walking path, nature play, complete with a pirate ship, and a tree house is what the kids asked for, and an outdoor classroom. So there are people who are seeing the opportunities and taking charge to make change. And these are some of the projects that you might see around town where we are starting to make change. I'm a landscape architect, and I love to work with kids. They are the vision to create and plan and design, build, and maintain these spaces. Marshall Park here, if you've seen the nature play, it's right next to the big kind of fire truck-looking playground. They want to hop, they want to skip, they want to jump, they want to climb. They want to create lava tag and zombie walks, and they want to create stuff. Art. Let kids have loose materials like sticks, flower petals, and they'll create art that'll blow your mind. And right up the street, Houck Elementary School, we just finished phase 5 of what the kids called our backyard field trip. It's an amazing space if you haven't seen it. The Alphabet Garden's right up in the corner there. It's meant to be a therapy garden. Kids know that it's the place for the animals. But it's a place for them to de-stress, calm down. But there's active spaces. There's a replica of the Columbia River that they can run, hop, jump, and skip. So if we create spaces close to home, we're going to build confident kids, self-resilient kids. Creativity will just blossom. And if you don't believe me, take a bag of ladybugs to a recess and hand out the ladybugs. They will be so excited. So I'd like to challenge all of us to bring back the stick. Foster the creativity and their sense of wonder and their imagination, and they will flourish. Thank you.